لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب وحلم يجلح الوجه ومدوه سبحانه وتعالى وأشكره وهو أهل الحمد والثناء وأشهد أن لا إله إلا وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ومصطفى. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وأهله وصحبه وسلم. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. We thank Allah Almighty always for every opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that Allah Almighty provide us every second. Those opportunities are always around us. Those opportunities are always coming to us. We are people of paradise. On the day of promises, we all promise that we would always establish paradise, always, wherever we are. And yet we didn't think that or know that Allah Almighty would send us in a place that would just be a similitude of paradise, but it would not be paradise. And it would not be paradise until we accepted in ourselves to establish paradise. And Shaitan, who became the rejected one, has sworn on his dead body that would never happen on his watch, and that he would lead all of humanity astray except for the ones who remember the promise that they made to Allah Almighty, and knowing that if Allah Almighty said that and we made that promise, they were aware that they were in paradise, and that if there were any changes, they would still continue to establish paradise wherever, however. This is why you find people in this life that they look at situations and they always think in their minds, it can be better, it can be better, it can be better. This is why you see artists, they look at, when they're doing artistry, this is, it can be better, there's something that's not right. You may look at it and say, oh, it's good. They said, no, it's not right. It's just not quite not right yet. You hear a singer or something, a musician, it's, no, the sound is just not right yet. Because that sound, that look, that feeling has to represent paradise. It has to represent paradise in order for it to be a universal acceptance. It just cannot be something that I like. It has to be something that we like. It has to be something that is from us. So when those people, they're on the earth, they wake up and they say, look at this world. People that have, people that do not have. People that are happy and people that are not happy. People that are ill and people that are sick. They know something is wrong. And yet everyone is accepting, well, that's the way it is. It says, no, it has to be better than this. And so they ask, this? Where do we change this? And they start to work. They drop their buckets where they are. And they begin to see a little different than we do. Because all they do is look for environment changes. They look for beauty. They look for happiness. They look for satisfaction. When they don't see that, they continue to work and they continue to ask. They continue to knock on doors. They continue to seek. Relentlessly, they don't stop. If there's nothing that's going to stop me and it's not stopping me, it means that I don't stop. It means we have not reached it. That's their thinking. That's how they think. When that satisfaction of that artist that is perfected. And they know that there's nothing else that they can add, nothing else that they can do. Then the people now become the judge of that perfection, that everyone gets something from that. That one perfection becomes a perfection that everyone sees a perfection in. And all human beings come here with that ability. We look at these raggedy streets. We look at these empty houses. We look at these people looking sad, going up and down the streets. Some driving, some walking. Some have food, some don't have food. And yet that's acceptable. And we call ourselves paradise people. We're not yet paradise people. We are a people of paradise in exile. We're like refugees here. Allah Almighty sent us here to re-establish our homeland. Paradise on earth as it is in heaven. That's what this is. So we wake up and we don't, and we're lazy and we're crazy and things are not being done and we're able to just to do nothing. It means that we are being disobedient to our own existence. We always have something to do. Always there's something to do. People always need help. We always need help. And the way we help ourselves is to help other people. That's just the way it is. That's the normal way of life. So when you see people that are busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted, that's because they're not helping anyone else that's busted, disgusted, and can't be trusted. And we're asking Allah Almighty to change that ignorance, that shaitan in us, because that is shaitan in us, making us to think that we're no better than a beast. This is the way beasts think. This is the way evil works. Evil only thinks of itself. And that's why evil is so corrupted and is so ugly and is so discombobulated and it's so unperfected. Because it's anything goes anytime, anywhere. And it forces us to accept something that is not perfected. And how come the people, human beings that come here that have a perfection, accept something that's not perfected? This is where the destruction of mind, body, soul, and everything else harms us. And so we accept this. We accept this poverty. Ali radiallahu anhu said, if poverty was a man, I would kill him. There was no poverty in paradise. How can we be paradise people we're begging Allah to give us the strength and power to change it to the abundance. Woman love tawfiq al-Fatih. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala karul mursaleen, Muhammad nabiyyi wa ahlihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. When Sulaiman alayhi salam was asked, what do you want? Do you want this world? Or do you want wisdom? And he said, I want wisdom. Then as he asked for wisdom, Allah Almighty gave him a throne, a carpet, and it was going over his empire. Just flying over his empire. Until he said, oh wow, look at my empire. And it started to come down, and he asked Allah to forgive it. That's because when we think of just ourselves, that this is only for us, it becomes evil. When we start to think that we don't want for our brother or sister, we want for ourselves, it becomes evil. When you want a prayer of abundance for yourself and you don't ask it for your brother or sister, it becomes evil. You want a prayer to be on fast forward. When you make a prayer for yourself, make it first of all for your neighbor, for your friend, for your family. And Allah answers it very, very quickly. We have to understand that paradise does not mean I. It means we. And that's what paradise is. And that's why Allah Almighty deals with the royal we. The royal we, Allah never says I. Allah says we. We have done this. We have done this. It's those who are connected to the we through the we. They're not Frenchmen, but they're we. And this is why they're always receiving the abundance mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, socially, politically, ethically, morally. And Allah Almighty puts them among us to remind them of the we. We're asking to be we because Allah Almighty's hand is on the community of we, not on the community of I. There's no such thing. So we're asking Allah to help us, to forgive us here and hereafter. Woman love tawfiq al-Fatih. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Rahman Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. Qad kamala as-salat.